Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NASCAR Championship Weekend is over. We've crowned 3 champions, 2 first-time champions, and 1 two-time champion this weekend. So I'm going to do something different here since it is the championship weekend. So every week on NASCAR Sirius XM Channel 90, they do weekly topics. So the morning drive does black flags and checker flags on Monday, Tuesday takeaway. On track does hot or not on Monday and Tuesday takeaway. Trading Paint will do podium, their top 3 things that happened over the weekend, or top 3 things you liked about the weekend. And then on Speedway, they will do thoughts of the weekend, typically what Dave does. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and wrap all those into one video here and kind of give my thoughts on all those for the weekend. I may or may not be able to call in the XM radio this one, Sirius XM NASCAR this week. So go ahead and do that since it is the championship and kind of give my thoughts on the weekend that was, black flag, checker flag for each series, hot or not for each series, and then the podium for the weekend, and then kind of where I felt where everything was going to be out there for NASCAR. So first thing is we're going to do the Truck Series Friday night, black flag, checker flag. Black flag goes to Corey Heim for wrecking Carson Hocevar. I actually did a reaction to that race as well. That race is pure trash at the end. Young kids driving over their heads is what that race was. The fact that Carson got into Corey Heim, that was racing. I'm sorry, that was freaking racing. Corey Heim thinks he is too good to have somebody touch him on the truck. He's got nothing coming for him. But the fact that was racing, Carson got in there hot. You can see the truck he was turned and the truck just slid up. The truck was tight as can be, got into him. Heim spun it around, backed into, remember he actually backed into, did a little bit of damage, yes. Truck wasn't horrible after that. What gets me is people had an issue with that, but yet when Majeski dumps him on the start of the restart, that Busch isn't back, and then Heim basically puts him in the wall after saying on the radio, I'm going to do it. Yeah, that's where my problem with Heim comes. Again, like I said in that previous video, I was a Corey Heim fan. Going into this race, I am no longer a Corey Heim fan. But that's my checker flag. Our black flag, excuse me. Checker flag goes to Roger Carruth. 7 straight, top 12 finishes. Finished top 10 here. Doesn't have a ride right now for next year. Young, talented kid out there trying to get things done the right way. Great run for him. My hot goes to Ben Rhodes. How do you not? 2 out of the last 3 championships. The last 3 years, first, second, and first. Super talented guy. Why he hasn't moved up to an Xfinity or Cup ride, it's kind of a shocker. But 2 out of 3 years he's been champion. I mean, his interviews after winning the championship are epic, I'll tell you. But great to see him get that 2nd championship. He's one of the elite drivers ever in the Truck Series. My not hot goes to Zane Smith. 4 straight outside the top 24, including that DQ. Just didn't have it recently. Once the announcement came he was moving the Cup next year, his truck seemed like just straight downhill. Definitely want to see how he does in the Truck Series next year. But that's my not hot. For Xfinity, my black flag goes to John Hunter. Not because he did something wrong, it's just luck. Best car all year, 7 wins. Seems like even the Truck Series, like he was on the cusp and something happened, you know. The first year in the Truck Series, he was in the championship 4 and got into the wall on the last race, blew it. Same way with next year in Truck Series. And it's like every time he starts to get there, it's like something puts him down, just bad luck. He's also moving to the Cup Series next year, so I can't wait to see what he does in that Legacy Motor Club number 42, moving to Toyota next year. That's going to be fun and exciting. We know the runs that Carson Hocevar has had in that car. This year, let's see, where did Carson finish today at? Finished 19th, but he's had some great runs in there, 11th to 16th, so I think he got in some little trouble today, so another top 20. So that car, definitely 15th to 20th as a Chevrolet with no support. What are they going to be as a Toyota, which is going to be exciting to see next year. Checker flag, I go to Cole Custer. I know people say demoted. I mean, I don't really look at. I mean, technically, yes, the Xfinity Series is a demotion, but gets demoted from Cup to Xfinity. But Stewart-Haas still believed in him. Goes out there and wins the championship. I mean, how do you're running in a mid to backpack Cup car last year. and now you're winning Xfinity Series championship. It's just like John Hunter. He was the same kind of, almost the same deal, but he's like, you know what? I don't want to run just B and Cup. I want to win races and run for championships. Goes to the Truck Series, gets with Toyota, gets with KBM. Now he's with Joe Gibbs. Next year, Legacy Motor Club, again, part of Toyota. Cole Custer, obviously Ford guy, stuck with it. Came back for a championship. That's awesome for him. My hot goes to Riley Herbst, actually. 5 straight top 4 finishes, including his first career win. It's like, as soon as he had a bad luck in the first part of the playoffs, and then he didn't even make the playoffs, and then had some bad runs, and then all of a sudden just took off. So I'm excited to see what he does next year. It's amazing how fast these Stewart-Haas Fords are in Xfinity, but the Cup program's not. In the Cup Series, Black Flag, guess the people complaining about this racing. This is in my opinion, this is the best racing we've had ever. You have 20 to 25 different drivers capable of winning races at this point in time. It's hard to pass. Yes, it should be hard to pass at the top level. You had the entire field but one person within 10 to 15, I think 15 laps were, let me see if the official results are out yet. Or see if the results are out yet, because I don't know it's not official, but I'm going to see if there's the full results. I'm kind of serious where the last place guy, I know Christopher Bell was technically last. Let's see if it has. Okay, so Cindric was 11 laps down in 35th. So 35 cars within 11 laps of each other, 24 cars on a lead lap, 29 cars within 2 laps. So the field is more competitive than ever before. So that 11 laps down for 35th place used to be 11 laps down for 10th. So more competitive. Yes, it's closer. It should be harder to pass. This is the top level of stock car racing. My checker flag goes to the battle between Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson. When they were battling coming off that restart, up until, probably 10 to go, they had a hell of a battle there. Clean, they raced each other clean. They didn't, just cut each other off. They actually raced the correct way. So that's how it should be done right there. Unlike the Truck Series race on Friday night, that got ugly after a while. Not hot. Hot goes to Ryan Blaney. 3 straight top 2 finishes, 2 wins, and 3 races for a championship. It's amazing how talented he is. He's got a chance to show it. The fact that now Ford swept the championship weekend. More to come on that one. And then my not hot Kyle Busch, 25th or worse, the last 2 races. Just got loose and spun out there toward the end, causing that caution. But like he even said, he's got to change the way he drives because he's kind of relearning this car because it's way different than everything else. And just the things that he has gone through this year. Podium, my top 3 podium is going to be number 1, Ford. 3 championships when everybody said Ford was off this year. Ben Rhodes in the Truck Series with ThorSport, Cole Custer with Stewart-Haas, and then Ryan Blaney with Penske. Penske back-to-back championships now. Last year with Joe Logano, this year with Ryan Blaney. My number 2 on the podium, I'm putting the Gen 7 car because the field is so close. Because we had 35 cars within 11 laps of one another. At one point in time, we used to have 10 cars within 11 laps of one another. Yes, passing is hard, but I think the racing's good. Brad Keselowski showed you can go from dead last, and he finished 15th. So he showed you could pass. Let me see if there's any other information here from the race. I thought it was a pretty darn good race myself. I enjoyed every bit of it. Let's see here. 4 cautions for 27 laps, which honestly isn't bad. I mean, we ran the first caution was, lap 110, the first stage. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why people's complaining. 35 cars were still running into this race. 35 to 36. So, I mean, we didn't have that with the old car. And the number 3 is the playoffs. I love the elimination style playoffs. I know everyone, especially here lately, have been complaining, well, the best driver doesn't win. Well, you know what? If you look at any other major sports, NASCAR is considered a major sport. If you look at any other major sports, they have a playoff. If you look at every other major sport, the best team of the regular season doesn't always win the championship. I know everyone says, well, auto racing is different than stick and ball sports, but it's still a major sport. So, yes, you can go back in history, and everything that everyone's complaining about the playoffs, I've found in the history of the sport. And just because you have the most points doesn't mean you're the best car all year. It doesn't. Because here's the thing, though. If you have 10 wins and 20th, 30th worst finishes, somebody else has 2 wins and 30 top 15s, who is the best car? Or if somebody has 25 top 5s and 10 last place finishes because of whatever, but somebody else has only 8 top 5s, who's the best car? You know, it's kind of that you got to figure out how you figure out who the best car is, and then you can figure out everything else. I'm actually going to be doing some videos this winter over that, and I got some plans with that. But you know what? Starting tomorrow, we have 104 days until the 2024 Daytona 500. Stay tuned to Robert Sports Show. We're going to do a lot of videos in 104 days. We're going to do a lot of NASCAR 75 greatest driver profiles, champion profiles, and etc. So it's going to be a fun off season. Not really an off season. It's a second season for NASCAR. But that is the SiriusXM NASCAR weekly topics from the championship weekend: black flags, checker flags, hot or nots, podium finishes, thoughts on the weekend, truck race. These truck races don't need unlimited overtime restarts. One and done. Because when you start doing the unlimited, you start getting 8 like we had. They are young, talented drivers. Truck Series is the minor leagues. We all understand that. Do one. If it ends in caution, it's over. Don't keep doing it until. And then they were there was a wreck before the white flag came out, and you could see that the NASCAR official went, I don't see it, I don't see it, I don't see it. He said, okay, it's over. No, you can't do that. You got to be consistent, and that's a safety thing. I hope that's brought up to Elton Sawyer on Tuesday on TMD, but we'll see what happens there. Overall, I enjoyed the races. Overall, 3 deserving champions. If you make it to the championship 4, you're a deserving champion, in my opinion. But we'll dig deeper into the non-playoffs versus the playoffs. Blaney would have been 6th in the non-playoffs before this race. So does that dilute it? Does that change it? No, it doesn't. He's still a champion of the sport. Cole Custer is still a champion of the sport. Ben Rose is still a champion of the sport. Thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. And don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.